God, you know we need a sermon. Please, God, send me sermon. And that is when God actually spoke up and asked him, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Say hi.
Hi.
To the people. That's it.
Sound check. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's your boy.
Before we started, I was telling Ian how even last time when I edit videos, usually I still increase the volume, but they were still saying that they were just hearing Ian's sexy voice. So I'm just over here telling him, Babi, you better increase your volume. You better increase your volume, Babi. You better increase your volume. When I do this, it means increase your volume.
Volume increased.
No, at some point you forget, and then you start.
I regress to the normal.
To the sexy voice.
It's not. It's just me. If that's what you think it is, then thank you. But it is what it is. Know what I'm saying?
I hope so. Now, anyway, guys, you know.
No, I'm just playing.
Anyway, guys, welcome to today's episode. So today we wanted to discuss how to deal with anxiety, because it's a question. It's a question that I've gotten asked so often. Like, oh my gosh, you always seem so happy. You must not even get angry or anxious at any time. And we were actually even talking today when I was calling Ian to tell him what we were going to discuss. I was like, okay, so today we're going to discuss about how to deal with anxiety. And then what did you tell me?
I was anxious about something just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, you've gone back to your sexy voice. I'm joking. So first of all, we're gonna start with like just the basic dictionary definition of what anxiety is, because I feel like I used to hear it a lot, like, oh my gosh, I suffer from anxiety, oh my gosh, I'm anxious, but I didn't really understand what it meant. And then I used to assume that anxiety means fear. So like later on is when I actually understood what anxiety meant, when I was actually like when I actually got anxious also. And I realized that it had been happening before, but I didn't know that was anxiety. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is your definition of anxiety before we go to the dictionary definition, or whatever definition we have here?
For me, how I understand anxiety is when you have a feeling of worry and at the same time uncertainty because of an uncertain outcome. Yeah, so for example, you don't know where your rent is going to come from, you don't know how you're going to pay your children's school fees. I feel like our examples are so adult. They're such adult examples because like that's where the stage that we are at. But I think
what are younger people's assumptions?
What they're gonna do about their future.
Yeah.
What they're gonna do about their future. I remember even me when I was entering uni, because initially when I was in high school, I had already set my mind. I was like, I'll be a doctor. Call me Dr. Michelle. SRG. I don't know. You know, like those initials that they usually have. I have no idea what they mean. But
yes.
Ask me what's your name.
What's your name?
The name's Michelle.
Michelle.
Dr. Michelle. With the guys, I always knew I was gonna be a doctor. So when I entered high school, and then biology and physics and chemistry, I was like, you know what? Is it really a must? No. Don't you have enough doctors in the world? Are you laughing at me?
No.
Anyway,
no.
So when I was entering uni, I remember I did have a bit of anxiety because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and also because I did feel like my dad was a little bit disappointed because I changed from wanting to be a doctor, because he was like in the oncology, cancer. That means like cancer, like it's oncology is a study in the treatment of cancer, various kinds of cancer. So I think in his mind he had already also set and been like, you know what, my daughter is gonna follow in my footsteps. So here I am. Yes, I got an A minus, but still, I really, even if I would have gotten an A straight, I really didn't want to do medicine because I so many people told me, you have to really dedicate your time, and it's 7 years and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do I really want to spend 7 years in
tell you
uni?
to do 7 years.
And it was like, with me, when I go to uni, I'm going for enjoyment. Don't tell me anything about 7 years. Look at me. All these years later, I'm going to stabilize shule hata ningeenda doctoring ningemaliza.
Sasa ungekuwa na master.
Ningekuwa Dr. Cheryl. Oh my gosh. So I did have anxiety about it then, but I realized that I didn't know what that was at the time. So yeah, that's my definition of anxiety. What about you? And when did you understand like the concept of anxiety? Because I feel like it's, especially in recent years, is when like the topic of anxiety and depression and mental health has really been at the forefront. So right now, more people are aware of what anxiety is and what mental health looks like and what a panic attack looks like. Because back in our days, I will insert Flacco's back. How the days changed.
Back in my days, I used to chew cotton as a snack. These young men are just eating nyama choma and pesa.
Cotton as a snack? How?
You see, let me tell you, boy, kijana, this is, I even have Zeus here. This is food. I grew up in true Huddersfield.
You ate shoes?
Yes, but how is that a surprise?
Because how is all that related to maths?
Where does leather come from?
Cows.
And where does Zeus come from?
Leather.
Yes, basi hivyo unachemusa ngozi, you boil the Zeus mpaka inakuwa mutende. It becomes very tender. It was a delicacy back then. You just eat it whole.
Eating shoes.
Like back then when I was in high school and uni, there wasn't really that much of a conversation about it, or even if it wasn't like really that big. So I didn't know. When I entered uni, and I mean, when I said like life and like interacting with people, and people would tell me, oh my gosh, I suffer from anxiety, I imagine in my mind I thought those were like rich people problems. No. And I'm not trying to like downgrade. That was my mentality, because I was ignorant of what it actually meant.
Oh yes, of what people are going through. And
not even that, I was ignorant of what it meant, because here I am having gone through it, but I didn't know that what it was. Yeah, someone was like, hey, y'all is rich, huh? Anxiety, huh? I don't even know what that is, but okay. But now I'm happy that I'm more aware of what anxiety actually means and what it actually looks like. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what did you think anxiety was, or what do you think anxiety is now? Has it changed? Since Oleander Alliance, and you know what alliance they have to let you know that's the Oleander Alliance.
Did I bring up the topic?
Guys, literally before we started filming this video, he was asking me to do a quadratic equation that his sister had sent him. And me, I'm over here, he's like, by the way, Stu, which was the formula for quadratic equation? Equation. I am from Migori, Buana. And he's like, is it GX plus 1? I'm like, I don't know. It's like, you know me, because I'm from Alliance.
Ciao.
Have a seat, boy. Charlie Walayo.
Relax.
Even when we went to Sue's house, because Sue's husband also went to Alliance, these two have to let me and Sue know that, you know what, as people who went to Alliance, gosh,
we were discussing Kenya's history and when Kenya became the Imperial British East Africa Protectorate.
This is what I have to deal with every single day. So let's not digress too much. So when did you learn about anxiety?
Anxiety? I always thought anxiety was like a psychological problem. I thought of the worst about anxiety, and I didn't know that anybody can have it about any situation, because I think anxiety is like the feeling of looking forward to something happening in a certain way, but you're not really sure that it's going to go that way. It might go to the worst, mostly the worst. So
because you're usually thinking that it's usually like in a worst case scenario.
It's like you hope for the best, but you're expecting the worst.
Yeah.
You know what people say?
Ah.
Which is complete. So, for me, anxiety. There was anxiety for exams.
Did
in
you
primary
know?
school.
Did you know that it was anxiety?
No,
Back then?
no. But now looking back, I thought it was called tension. Tension is what I used to call it. So I'm so tense
I'm
about
so
those
tense.
exams coming. I don't know whether I'm going to do well or I'm going to fail, and I don't want to fail. I'm going to read, and then because of the tension, forget. If someone asks you a question, literally, you don't know. You've just read it right now.
And you've just read it right now.
Yeah, you don't know. And then there is the tension that we used to have for swimming, because you want to win. You hope you're going to win,
but
then again, so you're thinking about even the strokes, even the turn and the dive, all those things, and you're just sitting there imagining like, what if what goes wrong? Maybe I slide off the diving board. Maybe I don't turn properly. Maybe somebody else beats me, or somebody who's much younger than me beats me.
Because that one was like,
You
whoa.
guys. Kwanzaa, we used to go for this Nairobi Swimming Association sports events, and the younger guys had all the energy. Okay, they trained for much longer than we did, and they went to schools where they had more equipped trainers.
Even like in those, like those sports academies.
Yes.
I remember even me when I was playing tennis, I would be put against somebody from Sadili.
These guys
That's all they do.
9 to 5
9 to 5
training.
ni tennis.
Yeah.
Mimi niko hapo ka 1 hour maka 30 minutes ka training. And I'm like,
if your
how you
teacher
will
shows
put-
up, if your PE teacher shows up,
Because our teacher never showed up. Alikuwa nganda like swimming sana. Sijui ni kama ni juu ya the costumes. Alikuwa anaenda swimming. But we're not saying.
our coach always used to show up. He was a very punctual guy, very polite. But the tension for hoping that we're gonna win, and then all the Chiles are watching.
Ooh, the Chiles.
Chiles,
Let's not forget
you know,
about the
The
Chiles.
Chilengos are there watching.
Do you know, it took me so long to actually know what Chile meant.
Really?
Yeah. I used to think it's like children. I was like, hey, and then I saw the Chiles, man. And then it was always like the cool guys who would say Chiles, and I was like, oh, Chiles, wow.
The mamsilas.
So I would always wonder, is it children or is it like chilies? Like, the hot chilies. So I'm like, what do chilies have to do with anything? Anyway, that's besides the point. Nikiwa na umenita, I'm a blonde hapo kwa comments, blocked.
And we're gonna find you.
Don't finish.
Okay, yeah, so those are the various stations of anxiety.
So you thought you
Swimming and exams, yeah.
So you saw anxiety as like tension.
Also when we were going to Funkies and you wonder, what are you gonna tell this Chile?
Oh, the Chiles again.
We want to talk about, what are we going to talk about, man? Vibe. Tulikuwa tunataka ukiwanga wasi wa bush.
Vibe gani, na all you want to ask
Go
is,
breezy.
mmefika wapi kwa syllabus yenu?
Wow, mlikuwa mna
Surely.
Surely
Kwani
that was a
tumekuja
question.
function
That was
ndio
a
tuliza
question.
kuhusu
Unaulizaje
syllabus.
madame?
Imagine I used to have guys who would ask me that, and immediately I would just know this is going nowhere. I am going to fake it to go to the toilet. Na hivyo ndio utaniona tena.
Vamos.
Yeah. So you were to read for us the definition of anxiety.
Anxiety is a noun. It has plural. Anxieties. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. In psychiatry, anxiety is a nervous disorder marked by excessive uneasiness and apprehension, typically with compulsive behavior or panic attacks. That's the one I used to think.
Like on
That's
the
anxiety.
extreme side.
Yeah, for me that was anxiety. That was normal anxiety.
Okay.
But that was extreme. Or a strong desire, now not psychiatry anymore. Second meaning is a strong desire or concern to do something or for something to happen. And
A
this is
strong
the one
desire.
that we always think about.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
strong desire or concern to do something or for something to happen. Then we wanted to look at symptoms of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling nervous,
Mm-hmm.
restlessness or tense, having a sense of impending danger, panic or doom. And then there's a
Physiotherapy.
no.
Physiological.
Physiological activities or differences that would occur. So there's sweating, breathing rapidly, hyperventilation, trembling, feeling weak or tired, and trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry.
Okay.
So I would have this one for sweating.
You'll sweat profusely.
Not profusely. I'd feel like my armpits are like a bit
Wet.
So like, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'd feel also my palms.
Mm.
Palms sweating. Knees weak, arms head. Yeah. So
Okay.
palms sweating.
Okay.
And then I'd feel jittery. So I'd probably shake my knees or my toes.
You do that a lot when you you do that a lot. Like literally will be, I think even was it like the first time when you were meeting my dad or you were having a conversation with him and you just kept shaking. Like just shaking. Like just, and I was like, can you relax your legs, sir?
Relax your legs. Then show up in the air from.
No, kwa umevaa earrings na nikamwambia usivai earrings ukikutana na babangu. Shauri yako. Okay, so what are some of the things that you get anxious about right now?
Sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get anxious about sales. Like every morning, just what updates am I to give? What do I have? Do I have any new business? And then at the end of the week, I have the same kind of thing. I think about if I close any sales and then did I meet my targets? Kwanza targets sumbua.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes I've gotten anxious about the calling that is on my life. The prophetic messages that I have received, the dreams and the visions. Yes, because it's very heavy to see into someone else's life. And that means you have been given the responsibility to do something about it.
It's a heavy mantle.
It's heavy, yes. So because sometimes you see people who are they're not really Christians or they're not even thinking about it. And so it's up to you to pray for them, to stand in the gap for them, is how we usually put it, that you pray for them, declare things over their life, and continuously think about them and praying for them. And we can regress to thinking about ourselves.
What do you mean?
If I have my bills coming and you are not feeling well and you have some things going on in your life, naturally the first thing I'll think about in the morning or in whatever time is the bills that I have. But then I have to remember that I was shown something about you and I have to put my things aside and pray for you.
That can be oh, I never thought about it like that. Like literally you have to put yourself aside and your things aside so that you can be able to stand in the gap, literally.
Yeah, for other people. Yeah, and it's one of the major burdens about having a prophetic mantle, and it's just heavy like that. Yeah, you have to pray for people. You
And
have
at
to
the same time,
try and forget yourself, even though yours are so there. Because when you come home, your kids tell you, Daddy, and I need this, and need that. So and so is doing this, and I want also.
because the kids can.
Yeah, they'll tell you what's up, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have to remember I saw something about that other person.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's that one for, do I tell you what I saw about you? Was I shown so that I can tell you because you're too blind to see? Or you're
Have not gotten that revelation.
Yeah.
Probably a better.
And if I tell you, how are you gonna take it? How now I'm all up in your business? Yeah. And how do I know?
Uko na udako.
And are you going to be open to receive correction
Okay.
in the thing that you need correction in?
Okay.
Yeah.
So work, your calling, and family life.
Yes, family life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I have seen in the past that I have gotten anxious about is, I think, almost the same thing, but just in a different way. Work, and especially in those seasons, like especially during COVID, because I am a makeup artist, so I do that full time.
Yeah.
Other than content creation. So especially during that time for COVID, nobody is making any bookings. Your bill still gotta be paid. Your landlord doesn't care. People
Okay.
still gotta eat.
But you didn't get jobs. Very sorry.
Very sorry, very sorry.
Sorry. Now when are you going to pay that thing?
Exactly. So I think for me, and then also I do feel like anxiety can also be in a way a burden. Don't you think so? Not in the other kind of way, the burden that we know, but it's a burden in terms of, especially when it comes to things that you are able to do something about, it becomes a burden on you to even put more effort to do those things. For example, if you want maybe more business,
Yes.
and you get anxious about it, it's also in a way a burden to tell you that, you know what, maybe you should explore XYZ more ways to be able to get more business, to be able to meet your targets. You understand what I mean?
You're saying that you can use anxiety positively.
I'm saying that because it's something that is so prevalent in our society, one of the ways of dealing with it, in my opinion, is be able to not really see it as, I'm not saying it's a positive thing, 100% not, but I'm saying in those situations, finding a better way to deal with that burden or deal with that pressure or tension other than worrying and panicking about it. So work, and especially that time, and then now when, for example, you get a client and you get on a campaign, so now my thing is I really have to make sure that I deliver. And especially when companies approach you about campaigns, what they want is sales. And especially because when you're given like codes or things like that, and then now they're able to like really track and say, okay, code ya Mitch imekuwa na 1,000 customers, for example, versus code ya. And then in the industry there's a lot of like that comparison. So for example, there's a campaign that I did I think a year or so back, and I remember that time I was really going through it in terms of like my personal life. Like everybody really needed me in terms of, Uyu needs my support in this, Uyu needs my support in this, Uyu needs my support in this. And even like mentally, I wasn't at a place where I felt like I was 100% focused on the campaign and like pushing and like posting. And I remember one of the managers DM me and texted me and told me, hey, by the way, your sales are down this month, what's up, you've not been posting. And I was like, hey, who am I? I was like, I'm dealing with some personal issues. You think they care? They do not care about your personal issues, girl. They want sales because they are also dealing with their personal issues. So I remember I just told her, okay, I'm dealing with a few things, but I'll make sure that my numbers go up. So when now she told me that, I was like, hey, I do not want to be off this campaign and I want to do more and more of this. So now it pushed me, the way I'm saying, it put that burden in me to, hey, I have to like keep pushing. So I pushed. By the end of the campaign, my numbers were up and we continued doing like campaigns with them. So in that way, so business wise, and then now also the way you're saying in terms of kids, like kids will literally come up and tell you, mommy, my friend has this shoe and I want it. Literally, Josie, when we went to Sue's house, one of our sons, he was like, I want, mom, I like this car. He wanted to go home with it. And I'm like, you can't go home with people's things, by the way. So I just told him, you know what? I'll get it for you. And I think now, in such things, like depending on the stage of life that you're at, because there are even people, because my demographic is like from 18 to 35, around there. So a lot of people, even like who are in uni or getting into uni or even leaving high school, they usually just tell me, I'm so anxious, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm 21, I'm seeing everybody is progressing, and I just wish I would tell you, you know what, just relax, breathe. Let me not say nobody, but a lot of people at 21, they really don't know what they want to do with their lives. Like everybody is going through that stage of understanding and learning themselves. And even to this day, even a 45-year-old, even a 60-year-old, we are constantly, I think, as human beings, trying to evolve and trying to get better and trying to look for new ways of doing things, because God has put in us such a huge imagination to be able to be productive and creative and to keep on creating.
Yes.
So I think at whatever stage of life that you're at, because it might get to a point now you're thinking about mortgages and you're thinking about your retirement and you're thinking about, okay, so how am I gonna pay my nini for university, and how am I gonna manage my business, and how am I gonna scale up? So I think it's an issue that I know it's an issue that is dealt with everybody, like at different spheres of life, regardless of your age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So we want to talk about how to deal with anxiety, and especially as a Christian.
Yes. Yes.
So you've been born again for how long now?
4 years, 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
Yes.
So how do you deal? Give me. Usually make noise with things that you're holding.
It's normal. It's human.
Are you anxious about something?
Anxious about these answers I'm about to give right now.
It's not an exam.
4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Got born again when I was 29, but just entering 30. Yeah, and I used to say I'm gonna get born again by the time I'm 30.
And look at you.
Yeah, because my template was Jesus. Yeah, to start the ministry in his 30. However, Jesus Christ started disturbing the peace
Much earlier.
than that. Yeah. So, how have I dealt with anxiety? First, I'd like to say anxiety. The reason for anxiety can be either real or perceived.
Okay.
It can be your impending rent is coming.
Mm-hmm.
That one is real.
That is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be perceived in that what will people think about me. People actually, they may be thinking the best of you, but you're worried about the worst things that you know about yourself that they may see.
Or they might not even care.
They don't, but to you
It's like,
it's so real.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But it's really perceived because you know things about yourself more than other people know about you. So you wonder, are they gonna see that side of me?
And I think also sometimes imposter syndrome, where you walk into a room or you get on a project and then you feel like you're not enough, and it's like you're an imposter there. It's just like, when are they gonna find me out?
Yes.
And it's
they're gonna find out that I'm not really who I said I am.
But it's really a lot of that is perceived, because for you to be able to get on certain projects, then there's something that those people have seen.
Yes, you showed a certain potential, and you just need to keep on showing that particular potential and grow.
Okay.
Yeah. So, dealing with anxiety.
Yeah.
I recognize the reason why I'm feeling that particular feeling.
Okay, give us, take us through a practical situation. For example, you are anxious about...
There is anxious about. I'm trying to stay away from work, but I spend like half of my life
at work.
So I may feel anxious about, let's say, let me just tell you, the insurance rates have gone up for motor vehicles. They have gone up, and significantly so. Like what we paid last year is almost double what we paid this year.
Yeah.
And other people have experienced the same thing. So I get anxious at what is the client going to say about these new rates. Many of them feel like I'm the one who's raised the rates for them.
No,
so why are you doing this to me?
No, I think it's also perceived in a way that you are the person who...
I'm the negotiator of the rates.
And you're the person who is standing in place of...
Yes.
So you're the person who is gonna get,
I'm supposed to get you the best rates. However...
Everybody has increased.
One thing that Ken has taught me is deliver the news, whether good or bad. Think about it, think about how to package it, but deliver it. So it's been anxious. I've gotten some anxiety moments where I thought about, are they going to take the news positively? Or are they, who's going to take and raise
almost double
in this
economy?
Yeah, people are trying to keep money for some other ways to grow or just to keep it so they can spend it or not spend it at all.
Also, like the rates of almost everything has increased. So imagine now people are now dealing with having like their basket of goods less
Yes.
with the same amount of money. So now you have to increase your disposable income
Yes.
to deal with this, and then now even this thing, which a lot of people they don't like getting, it's ni junior, it's a must.
Yes.
Now you've also increased it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So are they going to take it? And then am I going to lose this business because of my increased rates?
Impending
Yeah.
future.
Thinking about the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I like to work with certain companies. There are companies that I trust their processes and their claims process, and if they're going to pay, because that's usually the biggest thing to me. At the end of the day is that you get your service, you get what you paid for. But now if I take you to those other companies that I don't want to take you, so you pay what you want to pay, but then when it comes the time for an accident, nobody's there to help you.
You're really big on customer satisfaction, which is I love it.
It's the most important thing. People are the most important currency, so you must maintain them. So if I take you to a company where people are not going to be responding when something bad has happened to you, then you are not getting the best service. You're not going to look at me like I'm the best person for you helping in the situation, but both of us could be suffering the same service problems. So I'm not going to go there. Sometimes I even allow you to go and find another agent if you want to go to those other companies.
Okay, so you're saying, so it's either pay the rate that you want, but risk not getting the due process happen.
Yes.
In case of an accident.
Yes.
Or go to the reliable company
And
pay more,
Yeah.
but you're assured that the service. Okay, yeah, I get you.
And then there's another thing of some people think, okay, it's not some people, because the possibility of having an accident is low. That I'm paying all this premium and I won't have an accident.
That's my show for you. She ain't gonna
Yeah,
take
Shosho
it.
is always on third party.
Yeah, she's like, kwani?
Si unatengeneza, unagonga na unatengeneza.
Because even that first time that we had that incident with the car, and I remember sharing it with her, and she was so shocked. She's like, "How dare you take comprehensive insurance? What do you mean? You're wasting money." But I get what you mean. Okay, so
how do you deal
with that? Yeah.
First of all, you have to remember to take the bull by the horns. You have to be bold about it. This is a problem.
Sorry, the first thing you said is identify.
Identify.
Yeah, okay.
The cause.
The cause of that anxiety.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try and put them over here because I want this video to go up tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So number one, identify the cause of the anxiety.
Yes.
Okay.
And then now,
Take the bull by
solutions. Yes, you have to take the bull. You have to be bold about taking the bull by the horns.
What do you mean by taking the bull by the horns? Is the bull
you have to
the
go
anxiety?
with it. No, the reason that is the thing that is causing the anxiety.
Okay.
You have to deal with that.
Okay.
You have to deal with it. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So find out what is causing the anxiety, and go and deal with it. So, for example, I need to tell you that your insurance rates are high. I need to tell you insurance have gone higher. I actually need to pick up that call and tell you. I can't go around it, because you must know, and you must find it out from me.
Yeah.
And you must find out in good time.
Yeah.
So hata wewe ujipange kama utajipanga kama unaona utaenda kwingine ujue in good time. So I must deal with it, and then in that same context is to find the solution. Okay. So 3, find the solution.
How do you find the solution?
You think about the possible ways that you can get to solve the problem. So if the rates have gone up, then you have to go shopping in the whole industry to look for where you can get better rates but still maintain good service. Okay. So you look for solutions. Think about the problem and think about the solutions.